going on YouTube? Jeremy from High Desert RC Crawlers. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I've been kind of busy getting this thing ready for a race. As you can see, it's a little dirty. Yep, kind of been out testing and pre-running, getting this car ready for a race. The wife's going to be actually driving this one. It's the Powder Puff Race for Towards a Cure down in Barstow, coming up a couple weeks. So yeah, trying to get the car ready. Been busy with that. Trying to get some sponsorships for a big race. Might be doing King of Hammers. So look to that, and yeah. But wanted to kind of jump on and do a little video here. I know it's been a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at what's on the bench and what we're going to be doing. Spin you around here. That's right. Gen 1 Ascent 18. Known as Orange Crush, and we're going to be doing a brushless setup for it. So I got the brushless motor from Redcat along with a ESC, the remote, or transmitter, radio, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm also going to do the high steer that's on the new gen. So we'll be putting all that together. I'm hoping to have everything here that I need. But yeah, we're going to take the Gen 1 Ascent 18 and turn it into a newer generation with the brushless motor and the high steer front axle. So stay tuned. We'll be getting that all together. I'll be stopping and pausing every once in a while in the video as we go along, show you how it is, and then yeah, hopefully, like I said, hopefully I have everything here I need. We'll find out. So stay tuned. We'll get this modification started. Alright guys, welcome back. Got the front axle out. Pretty self-explanatory. Disconnect the servo from the mount. Disconnect your front suspension and pretty much you'll drop it out. Drop your drive shaft off and your whole front axle will come out. So what we're going to do is we'll take this apart, and I'm pretty sure from what I understand that the gearing should be the same, outer portal should be the same. It's the inner portals, which I don't have any inner portal covers. I got the outers for weight. Transfer over the steering and the diff cover, and we should be okay. Like I said, we'll start taking this all apart and see how everything fits together. It should go together pretty good from what I understand. So that's where we're at right now. We'll get the front axle out off of the car, and then we'll go ahead and take all this apart and see where we're at. So stay tuned. Alright, so give you guys a little bit of an update on what you have to kind of do to get this stuff apart. So I took the diff cover off to expose the gears, took your drive shaft off of the rear, took the outer portal cover off, trying to keep everything kind of intact there. I have the overdrive and underdrive gears, so remove the spur from up top, and then you have to take off the mounting screws on the top and the bottom, and then this whole rear assembly will slide out with the drive shafts, the axles. Then you can slide that right off, and then we'll do the opposite side, and then the gearing should come right out. So stay tuned. We'll kind of we'll put you up on the bench here, and we'll kind of do this one on video. So put all that aside over there, so we know that is the driver's side. I already took the steering link off and all that, so that put that aside. So we're just going to go ahead and take off our portal cover. should be able to pop that off now. Unless it's still screwed in. Yep, still there. That one off, and still there. Alright, so there's your outer portal cover with the gearing and bearings. I'm going to put this one aside over here so we know they're separated. And take off your top spur gear, your portal. And it leaves your assembly there. I'll take our Phillips head, undo the top. And the bottom. Now I guess you could have bought all the gearing and just kind of made your own axle, but I'm trying to reuse everything. So off comes your inner portal covers, out comes your gearing, and we just got to take that out, pop that out, and remove the bearings and put them in the new axle. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause you for now. We're gonna get it kind of everything set up on with the new ones, and we'll start putting that together. Stay tuned. Alright guys, little update, help you out if you guys do this. So there's your old backside of your portals, and this is your new one. You can clearly see they're different sizes. When you go to take your axle, you can see the half shafts of the axles are also different. They're the newer ones are a lot shorter. Actually no, they look the same. Well, interesting. I thought for sure they'd make them a little shorter, but they look the same length. So anyways, to get your bearing out of your old one, on the back side there's two little screws on the sides here that you take off, and then you can pull the whole axle assembly out with the bearing, and then you pop your bearing off. So we're going to go ahead and get the new ones all mounted up, put back together. But yeah, I found that. So basically these two little screws right here, one here and one here, you take those off, and this whole bearing assembly will pop out when you pull out the axle. So that all will come out as one piece. So just keep that in mind when you're pulling the stuff apart. You get stuck. I'm hoping this will help some people. So yep, little update, and we'll be back to putting everything back together. So stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back to the bench. We got one side put together. Everything seems to be turning fine. The outer portal covers do fit. The inners are definitely different. So yeah, we got that side put together. We're going to kind of show you this one. We're going to go ahead and remove the old shafts and bearings, or bearing. Why not? Actually, both bearings are in there, the small one as well. Take that out. And I did notice on these shafts there is a difference. The length's the same, but there is a difference in them, and I'll show you as soon as I pull this one out what it is. So I'm wondering why they would keep the same lengths and not use the same shafts, but so now you can yep, there we go. Pop that out. There's the old portal cover. Rear. Your bearings on here. Just slide it off the rear. There's your bearing. So on these, this is the original out of the Gen 1s. You can kind of see where it's beveled here. On the new high steer, it's flat. I'm not sure if you can see it. I hope you can. See a little bit of a bevel on the original, and then there's flat. It's flat for the newer style. So obviously we're going to use the new style and put the old one out. So basically same thing in reverse. Slide your bearing on, seat it, take your new cover, come in from the rear, push the bearing in all the way. And then you just take your 2 screws, put them back in, that'll hold that bearing in place. There you go, now your bearing won't come out. You don't want to over tighten, just a little snug. Hold those bearings in. Then you want to put in your little pin. This can be a pain. Get this lined. Oh, dropped it. I'm going to do this lined up first. Of course, now that I'm on camera, always seems to be the way. Alright, let's get this lined up. We'll go ahead and get this pin in. And it's basically just so that your top gear sits on this and holds it in place. And that I don't have the pin in the right location here. Hold on. Sorry if I'm doing this off of camera, guys. There we go. Maybe. There we go. Tricky little guy in there. Kind of tight. Get it nice and even. Then you can drop your top spur gear on. Have that sit in place like that. You're good there. I'm going to go ahead and pop out this bearing. This little bearing in here. Find a little flathead screwdriver, and these ones work good. And then this bearing pusher works great for putting them in. Like these, the 2 bearings in here, just getting them out and putting them in. So if you don't have one of these, get yourself one. They're an awesome tool if you have to deal with bushings and bearings and have to push and pull. So, but with these covers being that thin, a small flathead screwdriver, you can get in there and just pry it. Just be careful. I mean, if you damage it, not a big deal. You're just, you know, taking it out to put it in the new one. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop that in there and press it in. Get it all the way seated. We're good there. And then I use a little bit of, just a little bit, some red and tacky. Just a tad bit in there. I use a toothpick so I can get in there a little bit. And just drop it on the gear. Spin it. Kind of wipe it down. Give it just a little bit. You don't need a lot in here. You don't want metal on metal either. Put that back, and then we can take our outer portal cover. Same thing. Just a little bit on the gear. Spin a little bit. Spin around the other side and get, and that should be good. That's all you need. You don't need a lot. Red and tacky is red and tacky. Then we just put our, you already have your bearing in there, so just mesh it together. There you go. And we'll take our screws, get these on. This one over here. I like going opposite sides to kind of even everything out. You don't want to crank them down too much. Just get it snug, and then move on to the next one. That one decided it wanted to come out. I'll give everything a wipe down, get any excess grease and dirt off. Get that in there. We'll snug it down. That's good. And we'll move over to this next one. Snug that. That's good. Snug this one down a little bit more. There you go. And then on to the last. There you go. Everything's in, spinning, nice, feels smooth. Get yourself one of these cheap brushes from Walmart or wherever. They're great for wiping dirt off when you're working on parts, and they're super cheap. I think I picked up like 10 of them on Amazon for like a couple of bucks. So I keep them in all my little tool bags I go out with. You never know when you have to take something apart and get off all the little bit of dirt that's on there. So these are very, very handy. Get yourself a couple of those and keep them around. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get this lined up in here. See how we do here. There we go. Awesome. And we'll put our screws in on top. So I'll Phillips screwdriver. I'm not going to go crazy. Just get it so it's mounted up, and then I'll tighten everything down a little bit. There we go. Okay. Just getting them started for now. I'll tighten everything off camera. Alright, so now we got everything in place. Everything's turning nice and smooth. That's awesome. Perfect. So I'm going to throw a little red tacky on this. I'm going to put the cover on. A little bit more. Just a tiny bit. To the back, and that makes sure that we get that little spur gear back there. So again, we're not running completely dry. Got a little bit of grease in there. Again, you don't need to go crazy. Give it some spins. You can see how it's already spread it out. Perfect. There we go. Nice and smooth. And we'll put our portal cover on. Or I mean a differential cover on. Man, one of those days already. You know, it's football Sunday, so. Okay. Snap that in place. We'll put the bottom bolt in. The top one's reserved for the servo, so we'll leave that. So we get everything mounted back up. And we can get this bottom one in. That'll hold the cover on. Snug it down, very nice. Oh yeah, nice, nice. Perfect. All right, I'll get all this all tightened up off camera. I'll get the half of the drive shaft on. And then we'll work on swapping out the motor for the brushless. As you can see, I got the Endura. This has got the reduced gearing in it, metal gears. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this whole transmission out. I'm gonna take it apart, get off this motor, put the brushless one. Should match right up. And yeah, so stay tuned for all that. Front axle's done pretty much. All put back together. So stay tuned, guys. We'll get to swapping out the motor. Alright guys, welcome back to the bench. I kind of wanted to show you a couple of things. So this is the reduced geared, metal geared transmission and motor combo from Endura. 180, 48 turn reverse direction. Metal gears, which they do, and you can clearly see that Endura does put some grease in there. It's well greased. They are metal gears. Just kind of wanted to show you that. So if you ever want to get this combo, you can. Very good combo. It reduces the gearing in the transmission, and then you add the overdrive and underdrive to it, and it just makes it a monster crawler. So I just wanted to show you guys what I did when I popped the cover, or what it looks like inside. So we're going to go ahead and get this all taken apart. So I'm going to pull out our gearing, kind of set it aside. And if you guys kind of like get confused on what goes where, take a picture. I always do, so that way I know, which way it's going to go. So all right, we got all that off. I'm going to go ahead and get the motor out. I'm hoping I can use the pinion gear off of this motor. Should be able to, because the brushless doesn't come with a pinion. So all right. There's the motor and separated from the tranny. This might be the downfall here if I can't get this off. Let's see. Yep, that doesn't come with a pinion, so I'm going to either have to pry this off, or I'm going to have to get one off of a stock motor. So stay tuned, guys. We'll see what I got and what I have to do, and I'll be back with what I did. Alright guys, welcome back. Kind of what I had to do is I could not get the metal pinion gear off of the Enduro motor. That thing is on there pretty good. Matter of fact, I damaged the pinion trying to get it off. Hopefully I didn't damage the motor, because these are really nice motors. Good torque, everything else. So I'm going to have to hook it up and pray that I didn't damage it. We'll see. If I did, then I might just... I already damaged the pinion, so that's kind of be a useless motor. But what I end up having to do is take apart one of the stock transmissions and remove the pinion off the stock motor. Unfortunately, off the stock motor is the plastic, because it's a plastic gearing. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm going to look to see what's on Redcat's website. Hopefully they have a metal pinion gear. I don't know why this motor did not come with one. I guess I'll have to ask Redcat on that one, why they didn't do that. But other than that, everything else made it up perfect. Motor's in there, everything's turning. Just dropped a little bit of red and tacky on that pinion gear for the motor to kind of give it a little bit more cushion to the metal gears. But other than that, everything is in there and made it right up to the transmission case. So these are made for the Redcats, and the transmissions amongst all of them are pretty much the same. So yeah, so there we go. I'm going to get everything else put back together and swap out the electronics, put it all back, and then give it a test drive. So stay tuned. If I find that pinion gear online, I'll let you guys know. Probably do that, a little research when I'm off camera. But yeah, everything else works good. We'll see how long this plastic gear works against these metal ones for brushless. Hopefully it'll last a little while. Same tooth. It's 11 tooth on the Enduro motor that was in the transmission, and it's 11 tooth on the stock gearing. So that didn't change anything there on the pinion. So that's pretty cool. So I guess if you want to change that out, you could too, if you found a small enough one. I did have a Traxxas motor that I was able to get the pinion off of. Unfortunately, the shaft for this motor is smaller, so that it basically just slid on and just spun, which kind of sucked because that one was a metal one. So, but yeah, we'll see how everything goes. But everything's in, everything's turning nice and smooth, nice mesh. Everything feels good. So yeah, we'll get everything put back together, get everything mounted up, swap out the electronics, and hook everything up and see how it goes. So stay tuned, guys. If I come across anything else, I will pop back in and let you know. Thank you. Stay tuned. Alright, guys. Give you a quick update. Kind of got the front axle in. Motor's all mounted up. Figuring out where I'm going to mount the electronics. But I did notice one thing I went to go put it together, and the high steer axle is a lot narrower than the stock. So the one piece I don't have is the steering link. So I got to order that from Redcat. So I'll have that part coming in. I also found a metal pinion gear on Redcat's website. It comes with a whole low gear transmission. So I'm going to go ahead and just order that gearing anyways. And I'm going to put that in the wife's build that she's going to be doing on the Brushless Ascent. So basically she'll be doing this whole project. This will be her first build. So I'm going to take the gearing out of that and we'll put the low transmission gear in there. Already got overdrive and underdrive gearing in for it. So yeah, that low transmission will be nice. Got a nice transfer case for her. All that stuff. So yeah, stay tuned. We got to get some parts ordered up and get them in. And once we get them in, I'll get back to putting this all back together. Get the electronics mounted up and take it for a spin. Just a quick update. Stay tuned, guys. We'll get this thing put together. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you like this kind of content. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them. And I'm hoping that this will help some people out if they decide they want to take their Gen 1 and turn it into the newer style high steer brushless motor system that they have out. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks. Alright, guys, a couple days. Alright, guys, welcome back to the bench. About 4 or 5 days later, we got our parts from Redcat. We got our brass steering link. So here's the one for your high steer. Here's your stock Ascent 18 steering. You can definitely see there's a difference. So I made the mistake. That way you don't. So we're gonna get that installed. I did get the low range transmission. So it's 2252 to 1 steel, one set, to get the pinion gear. I don't know if Redcat did this on purpose but that is a plastic pinion gear. So an 11 tooth plastic pinion gear in with a metal gear set. Good thing is that I can use this low range transmission gearing in my wife's new build that she's going to be doing. So not a big waste. But I was hoping to get a metal pinion gear out of this and didn't. That is a plastic pinion gear. So if you already have a low range transmission, don't worry about it. They do have an optional 12 tooth, and I believe it did say metal on their website if you want to go that route or try and find an 11 tooth pinion that is metal. But for now, seeing how I have a stock 11 tooth plastic one in there, I'm going to just go ahead and leave it in there. But good thing is I can use this transmission for the wife's. So we're going to go ahead and get the steering link put in. I'm going to leave a picture of all of the parts below that I used in this build. That way you can pause it, take a look at it, write it down. It's all Redcat part numbers. The only one that I'll have linked in the description is the radio, because that didn't come with a part number. But I'll leave that, and I'll leave that optional 12 tooth pinion gear in the description as well. So feel free to pause the video, write down those part numbers if you want to do this swap over from your Gen 1s to the new high steer. And I got all the parts there, so that way, like I said, I make the mistakes so that you guys don't have to. So we're gonna go ahead and get this installed, get it all put back together, mount the electronics, which I think I'm just gonna do it like they have in the newer brushless. Just mount it to the side here, get all the wiring put in, zip tied up, and we'll come back with a final wrap up of the bench, and then we'll take it out to the course and run it on the course and see how it does. So stay tuned for that run footage, Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. But thanks. We'll see you out on the course. Alright guys, we're on the course with Orange Crush. Got the brushless system in, high steer. Give her a run on the backyard course, see how it does. I can tell you right now, the slow crawl on this thing is unbelievable. Redcat did a really good job with this brushless system. Let's get her out here and see what she can do. I'm gonna hit gatekeeper. Not a problem. Slow crawl is awesome. Now, I never would have been able to do that with the stock steering. That turn is pretty tight. Yeah, much better. This high steer setup is awesome. I want some background music for you. You don't have to listen to me talk the whole time. We'll just do some crawling. Sit back and enjoy. guys, that'll about wrap this one up. Just wanted to get out and get some test footage with the new high steer and the brushless system. I don't know if you can see in there, but you can see that motor spinning. Super smooth, silky, barely on the throttle. Steering is outrageous. If you guys want to do this to your Gen 1 Ascent 18s, this is the way to do it. Awesome upgrade to your Gen 1. Like I said, I will leave a link in the description below with all the parts. There was a picture posted early in the video, and whatever is in picture will be linked below. Check it out if you want to do this upgrade to your Gen 1 Ascent 18s, turn it into the new brushless high steer. This is where you can do it. Awesome job, Redcat. Jealous that you guys just came out with the Apex after I bought the brushless Power Wagon for the wife to mod out. But hey, guess you can't have too many in your stable, right? Who knows? Maybe we'll see one of those Apexes in my stable coming up. But yeah, this will take care of this video, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment below, leave any questions you might have. Send this video off, share it if you have to. But yeah, awesome upgrade, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep crawling. Till the next one, guys. Thank you. Yeah.